All right, so we're going to talk about something that, let's be honest, most of us find a little boring, maybe even complicated, but it might just be the most critical piece of your entire financial life. We're talking about your insurance shield.
And we really have to start right here with this quote. Because, this isn't an exaggeration. Not at all. This is the exact reality we're all trying to shield ourselves from. That one single moment that changes everything. So let's make this feel a little more real, shall we?
Okay, just imagine this. You're in a car accident. And hey, it's not even your fault, but people are hurt. A little while later, the hospital bill shows up. Boom, $25,000. And believe me, that's just the beginning.
Then comes the second gut punch. The damage to the other car, that's another 15 grand. So let's do the math here. We're at $40,000 deep in a matter of minutes.
And just like that, everything you've worked for, every single dollar you carefully scrimped and saved, it could all be gone. Wiped out. This is it. This is the financial catastrophe that happens in the blink of an eye. So that's what brings us to our first section here, the sudden downfall. We're really going to unpack what this kind of risk is all about.
And look, I want to be crystal clear about something. This isn't about being careless. You could be doing everything right. You're a great saver. You live within your means. You're a super careful driver. But you know what? None of that matters if you're unprotected. This isn't some failure of character. It's a failure of preparation.
So how do we prepare for that? Well, we start with what is arguably your most important shield, and that's health insurance. Okay, let's zero in on one concept, the maximum limit. You've probably heard it called the out-of-pocket max. Honestly, this is the single most important number in your entire policy. Why? Because it's the hard cap. It's the absolute ceiling on what you'll spend on medical costs for the year. Think of it like a financial firewall between a health problem and complete financial ruin. Okay, but wait a minute. This next question might sound totally backwards. We always think of insurance as a cost, right? It's a defensive play. But what if I told you it could actually be a tool to build wealth? The answer is surprisingly yes.
And the way you do it is through something called a health savings account, an HSA. You usually see these paired with high-deductible health plans. Now, this thing is a secret weapon. It's one of the very few accounts out there that gives you a massive tax advantage, not once, not twice, but 3 different times. So here's how this magic works. First, the money you put in, it's tax deductible. That lowers your taxable income for the year, right now. Second, you can invest that money and it grows completely tax-free. And third, when you eventually pull it out for medical costs, guess what? It's also tax-free. I mean, it is an absolutely incredible financial tool just hiding in plain sight inside our healthcare system.
Okay, so we've talked about protecting ourselves. That's huge. But what about the people who rely on us? This brings us to our next topic, protecting your people. And yeah, we're talking about life insurance.
And I really want you to let this next thought sink in because it's a huge shift in perspective. Life insurance, it isn't for you. You're not going to be there to see it. It's a final gift. It's one last act of protection for your family to make sure their entire world doesn't fall apart financially if you're suddenly not in it.
So here's the really important part. You do not need to get fancy with this. The insurance industry loves to push these super complicated, really expensive plans that try to mix insurance with investing. But for most families, a simple, cheap term life insurance policy is way more effective. It has one job, to be a financial safety net, and it does that job really, really well, for a surprisingly low cost.
All right, let's circle all the way back to the beginning, back to that car accident. But this time, we're going to approach it from a position of strength by talking about the smartest coverage. And this right here might be one of the most important rules in the entire world of insurance. Buying the absolute cheapest state minimum plan feels like you're saving money, right? But it's actually a massive gamble. One bad accident and that little bit of savings could end up costing you everything you have.
But here's the good news. You don't have to spend a fortune to be well protected. You just have to be smarter, not cheaper. So, first thing you can do, raise your deductible. That's the amount you pay out of pocket before insurance kicks in. A great rule of thumb is to pick a number you could easily pay tomorrow out of your emergency fund. That one move can seriously lower your monthly payments. Second, bundle. Put your car and home insurance with the same company. The discounts can be huge. And finally, don't be blindly loyal. You have to shop around and compare plans every single year. And all of this brings us to our final and maybe our most critical idea. This is the whole reason we're talking about this stuff today. It's what I call the one-moment catastrophe. You see,
We tend to think of financial ruin as this slow burn, right? A series of small mistakes that add up over time. But the cold, hard reality is that for most people, it happens all at once. A lawsuit, a diagnosis, that car accident. It's just one moment.
And this is the bottom line. Your savings account can't stop it. Your income can't stop it. The only financial tool on the planet specifically designed to stand in the way and absorb that catastrophic one-moment shock is a well-built insurance plan. That is the shield.
So I'm going to leave you with this one question. I want you to look at your own life, your finances, and the people who depend on you, and take a really hard look at the protection you have set up. Is it just an afterthought? Is it the cheapest plan you could possibly find? Or is it a real shield? Is it something you intentionally built to be strong enough for that one moment, the one you pray never ever comes?